This recording is for Algebra 1, Chapter 4, Lesson 1. Today's quote comes from Lemony Snicket, Bitter Truths You Can't Avoid by Lemony Snicket, page 124. There are many difficult things in this world to hide, but a secret is not one of them. All right, graphing on the coordinate plane. A coordinate plane is formed by two intersecting number lines. The intersecting point is the origin, also known as 0, 0. And the horizontal line, that would be the left to right line, is the x-axis, and the vertical line is the y-axis. Vertical goes up and down. The coordinate plane is broken into 4 quadrants, and an ordered pair of numbers identifies the location of a point on a coordinate plane. So this is what a coordinate plane looks like. The vertical line, which is the one that goes up and down, never ends, and that's what we call the y-axis. The horizontal line, which goes on forever left to right, is what we call the x-axis. All right. The origin is the point in the middle, which we call the origin. Oops. And quadrant 1 is always in the upper right. Quadrant 2 is in the upper left. You know what? Let's just use the numbers. So this is quadrant 1. This is quadrant 2. Quadrant 3 is in the lower left. And quadrant 4 is in the lower right. Okay? And those are the quadrant hints. All right? Oh, never mind. So not quite the quadrant hints anyway. So if you know that this is 1, 2, 3, 4, because you remember they're actually number lines. This is -1, -2, -3, -4, and so on. This is +1, +2, +3, +4. This is -1, -2, -3, and -4. If I have a point, let's say it's this pink point right here, right? That's the point 3, 2. Well, any point in quadrant 1 is going to have a positive, okay? Whereas any point with this like light green line right here in the second quadrant, and this is -5, 2, is going to have a negative, positive quadrant, okay? A point here, which I might as well use another color, it's going to be blue, is -3, -2, and when it's in quadrant 3, it's going to have a negative going on. And then for here, which I'll do in purple, if I've got the point 2, -2, that's always going to be a positive and a negative in quadrant 4. Okay? So each quadrant has a specific ordered pair set that kind of goes with it. So if I've got a positive, I know I'm quadrant 1. If I've got a negative, I'm in quadrant 2. If I've got a negative, I have to be in quadrant 3. And if I have a positive, I am in quadrant 4. Now, if I ever have a 0 as either the x or the y, because a coordinate plane always has an x coordinate and a y coordinate, x is always first, y is always second. If either the x or the y is 0, I have to be on an axis. Okay, I'm not in a quadrant if I have a 0 as either my x or the y. And we're going to talk more about that because we're going to graph. Okay, so when graphing points on a coordinate plane, you always need to make sure your coordinate plane has arrows. Because really the quadrant plane goes forever, it's just your paper doesn't go on forever, so we have to show that it does go on forever with the fact that we have arrows. So let's go ahead and graph some points. So the first point we have is 2, 4, and I'm just going to make sure every set has a number. And I'm not going to go through and number them all because you guys should know that by now. You know this is 1, this is 1, this is -1, that's -1. Okay? So there you go. So let's go ahead and graph these points. So I'm going to do A in green. So A is 2, 4. So I'm going to start at the origin and count 2 over, 1, 2 to the right because it's positive. 2 on the x-axis because x is the first number, 2. So I'm going to count over 1, 2, 1, 2. And then I'm going to go up 4 because y is the The second number is the y-coordinate, which is on the y-axis, so it needs to go up 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is actually the point A. Okay, the point A, which is at 2, 4. All right. So let me erase some of these. Okay. And then the next point I'm going to do in blue, and that is B. So I'm going to start at negative 1.5. So I'm going to start at the origin. We'll go 1.5 on the x because I'm left to right with the first number, up and down with the second number. And then I'm going to go down 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, because the second number is the y. So there we go. So that is the point B, which is negative 1.54. Okay? Now, next, let me do orange. Okay, so next is C, which we're going to start at the origin. We're going to count 3 to the right, 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to count 2.5. Okay, so that is point C, which is 3, negative 2, C, 3, which is negative 2.5. Okay, last point is 0, 3. So I'm going to start at 0. Since x doesn't go anywhere, I don't go left or right. It's just 0. So I start at 0 on the x-axis, and I'm going to go up 3. So that is the point D, which is 0, 3. There you go. Actually, that point doesn't exist. That was just my starting point. Okay, so that's the point D. Oops. There we go. All right, last slide. Which axis or quadrant does each point reside on? Okay, so remember when I said if it's got a 0 in there, it's got to be on an axis. But which axis is it? Okay, so if I just do a quick little coordinate plane, I start at negative 2, so 1, 2, and then since it's 0 on the xy, it's actually right there. So which axis is this? This is the x-axis, this is the y, so this point is actually on the x-axis. Okay? What about 4, negative 1? Well, I told you that the quadrant 1 is plus plus, quadrant 2 is negative plus, quadrant 3 is negative negative, and quadrant 4 is plus negative. So this one is a plus negative, so that's got to be quadrant 4. There we go. All right, number 3 is a negative negative, so that's got to be quadrant 3. And number 4 is positive positive, so that's got to be quadrant 1. Okay, make sure you guys are familiar with graphing. From now on, you guys are going to be doing coordinate graphing almost every chapter, and it's a pain. So you got to know this part now because this is the easy part. Know it, love it, and just do it. Okay, bye guys.